Okay, so good day to everyone. So this is our third lecture for Building Technology 1, Building Materials. So papasok na tayo sa main building materials natin. So the first building materials that we will discuss is concrete. So everyone is, I know, o sa tingin ko, hopefully, everyone is familiar with concrete. Ano ba yung concrete? So this is a proportion mixture of cement, aggregate, and water. So when we say aggregate in concrete mix, it is the sand and yung gravel natin. So it's considered as a plastic mass which can be cast, molded, or formed into predetermined size or shape. So ang concrete natin, inilalagay natin sa isang formwork, or it can be placed in a molding. Uh, kasi by a period of time, titigas siya at kailangan niya ng shaper. So that's why we need cast, molded, and forms. So concrete also has different types. So later on, mapag-aaralan natin siya by the end of this video. Ano pa yung matututunan natin or nilalaman nito, ano yung composition niya, and what its characteristics or properties. Okay, so the types of cementing materials na ginagamit for concrete is nahati sa tatlo. So the first one is lime. So it's one of the oldest manufactured building materials. It is used usually for mortar and plastering. So ang mortar and plaster, ang pagkakaiba niya lang dun sa pinahita ko kaninang concrete is wala siyang gravel. Ang meron lang siyang aggregate is yung fine aggregate, the cement, the sand, and water. So, yun yung kinoconsider nating mortar and plaster. And I think I need to discuss this pagdating natin sa masonry work para mas lalo nating maintindihan. So, basta nabanggit lang siya. So, matagal na siyang ginagamit. Even the times pa ng Egyptian, they use lime plaster. Sa Greeks, they use it for yun same din, mortar and plaster. And then Romans, they developed a mixture for lime putty and volcanic ash for the first real cement. So the first inventor of cement is the Romans. Kung mapapansin nyo, comparing Greek and Roman architecture, Romans can do shapes ng circular, mga ganun. Kasi uh, it's because they invented cement. So, another cementing material is yung tinatawag nating gypsum. So, it was used as plaster by the Egyptian, Greeks, and Romans din. So, yung plaster natin from the Greek word for both raw material and calcined product. So, ang plaster sa atin is ito yung palitadang ginagamit sa wall. Ito yung surface na pinapahid natin to smoothen, especially masonry works. So, kung makikita nyo, if sa construction work, may mga layered of hollow blocks, tapos you want to have it a smooth finish or another layer, yun yung ginatawag nating plastering. And then, syempre, yung pinakagamitin as cementing material is yung cement, which is first developed by the Romans. Ang tawag sa volcanic ash na ginamit sa kanya is pozzolana, na tumitigas using water. So with the fall of Roman Empire, yung art of cement making was lost for several centuries. And then later on, bumalik din siya. And then the word cement generally refers to Portland cement. Pag tinatawag na semento, Portland cement yung alam natin. So it's the principal type ng cement na ginagamit. So we have different Portland cement sa Pilipinas. Uh, Iba-ibang brand siya, and I think nagbabago lang siya sa price, and at the same time ang pagkakaiba-iba lang nila is the way you will use it, or the mixture you will, or how you will use it. kung ano yung timpla ng mixture natin. So, ano ba yung mga types ng Portland cement? So, we have the slow setting cement, the quick setting o high early strength cement, the sulfate resisting cement for applications where alkaline water and soils occur, white cement or stainless cement which is free of iron impurities. So, ito yung iba't ibang type ng Portland cement. So, paano ba tinatago yung cement? If you're going to store it, make sure that cement should be protected at the building site from injury through contact with dampness. Kasi nga, ang characteristic ni cement, pagka nalagyan siya ng water, it hardens. So, iniiwasan natin siyang mabasa. So, you should store it in a place na secured, na hindi mauulanan, and hindi mababaha. So you have to raise it at least 12 inches or 300 mm from the ground. Pinapatong siya, kung makikita niyo yung mga site, karaniwan nakaangat siya, nakapatong sa parang papag. Cement should be used as soon as possible after delivery. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-stock na ng ganun kadami sa site kasi there's a tendency na kapag ka nagpatong-patong ka ng sobra or pagka tumagal siya, tumitigas siya. Piles should be limited to 12 sacks in height. So 12 na patong lang yung pinaka-maximum natin dapat for cement. Hindi na pwedeng sumobra kasi yung pressure of this weight nagkakos siya na tumigas. And also, kung talagang isang characteristic to cement, pag masyado kang maraming tinatabi or sinistore sa site, is yun nga, hindi mo alam kasi yung panahon kung uulan or hindi. Hindi madali siyang tumigas once na na-expose sa water or kapag tagal-tagal ng panahon, talagang ano siya, lalo na pag nagiging compact siya. So, isang experience na nun, pinaka mga naging epekto sa construction site with the sudden lockdown caused by the pandemic, yung ibang sites ang dami nilang semento pang nakalagay. So yun, nagtigasan na sila when they resume around, I think, June, July. So ako, before the lockdown, at least naubos ko yung iba kong semento. So iilan lang yung nalugi. Yun. So what are the qualities of good concrete? So it should be strong, it should be durable, of uniform quality, and thoroughly sound. So syempre, concrete is mahirap siyang gawin. Tumitigas, you have to do formworks. So make sure that it would have these qualities. Ang pangit naman na naggawa ka niyan, tapos eventually hindi naman pala siya matibay. So it's obtained through careful selection of materials, correct proportioning through mixing, careful transporting and placing proper curing or protection of the concrete after it is placed. So later on, we will discuss this, paano tinatransport si concrete, paano siya nilalagay, and paano siya kinecure. So, basically, a good concrete is, una, wala siyang kapak, well compacted, and ang goal kasi natin kapag nagbo-boost tayo ng cement, ng konkreto, is make sure na maiiwasan na magkaroon ng void materials. So even if when we use reinforced concrete, yung combination of concrete and reinforcement or yung mga bakal natin, deformed bars, kung makikita nyo, yung gravel natin, hindi basa-basa lang, depende sa part ng construction yung nilalagay nating gravel. Kasi, 'di ba, yung ating, let's say, our ties and stirrups, yung mga pa square na nakabalot ah, sa ating poste, eh, meron siyang specific spacing lang. So, pag sobrang laki ng gravel, ng aggregate na ginamit mo for concrete, there's a tendency na hindi pumasok doon sa spacing na yun yung ating mga, ang tawag dito, graba. So, magkakaroon ng void space. So, kaya habang nagkakaroon ng mga stirrups, mas lumiliit yung bato compared dun sa slab or nakapahiga lang. Kasi kahit ibuhos mo yon, naka-layout naman ng pahiga yung ating um, bakal. Okay, what are the materials of concrete? So, cement, so soundness or constancy of volume, time of setting, fineness, and tensile strength. So karaniwan, ang cement 40 to 50 kilogram per sack or per bag. Yung mga nakikita ninyo na available sa mga hardwares. But some hardwares, binebenta na rin yan ng tingi-tingi. Ganyan kagaling sa Pilipinas. Per kilo or naka-plastic siya. Okay, then we have the aggregate. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, it can be fine aggregates and coarse aggregates or fine aggregates only. So it's the inert fillers used with cement and water in making concrete. So ang ano kasi ngayon, kailangan ma-fill natin yung mga void spaces. So pag sinabing fine aggregates, these are considered as the sand, the stones, and other inert materials of similar characters. Pero sa atin, widely used is yung sand. And then the coarse aggregate is the consists of crushed stones, gravel, or other inert material of similar characteristics. So yung coarse aggregate natin, usually, yun nga yung mga graba natin. So nag-iiba-iba again yung size ng graba ha. We have the larger size for the slab and smaller size for the beams and columns. Okay, and then next is water. So inert material, uh, I mean, used with cement and water in making concrete. So it should be free from oil, acid, alkali, vegetable matter, other deleterious substances. So hindi lang tayo basta maglalagay ng water. Should be reasonably clear and clean, and the use of sea or brackish water is not allowed. So, medyo maarte din pala si concrete, no? Hindi basta-basta lang maglagay ng tubig. So, may tatawag tayong slump test in concrete. So, this is used for measuring the consistency of concrete mix. So, ginagawa natin to para malaman natin kung okay yung timpla natin ng semento. So, consistency may be defined as a state of fluidity of the mix, and it includes the entire range of fluidity from the wettest to the driest possible mixtures. So, actually, concrete is another course for you sa building technology. So, for working drawing siya and mas elaborated part. And also, I'd like to remind you na meron kayong reinforced concrete na math subject na tinuturo ng civil engineers just to give you the concept of how it will be used sa mga projects natin. Kasi we should know then yung the general lang naman, not specific or not elaborated part of computing the structural of a concrete, pero dapat yung basic alam natin. So ano ba yung slump test? Balik ako sa slump test. So it's in making this test, the slump tester is placed on a flat. These are the steps. Dapat nilalatag mo muna siya sa flat surface, smooth surface, and is filled with newly mixed concrete from the mixer. So syempre yung pinaka fresh mong halo, yun yung itetest natin. So, second step no mo is you would fill the mold with concrete. So, yung mold natin usually is a bucket that is 300 ang ang height and pa um, so the latter is stamped with a 12 mm or 1/2 inch rod pointed at one end. Yan, kamukha itong picture to. At the end of the top, concrete is smoothed of exact level. So, pupunuin natin yung ating bucket ng fresh concrete. So, the mold is then slowly raised vertically and the height reduced from the original height of 300 mm or 12 inches represent the slump. So, pagka napuno mo na si bucket ng cement, babaligtarin mo siya, and then kailangan pag angat mo sa kanya, dapat bumaba siya. At least 12 inches or 300 mm from your uh, for the slump. So, pag nag-collapse yung timpla, it's usually too wet ang ibig sabihin yan, yung timpla mo. The best is medyo bumaba lang ng konti. At pag hindi talaga bumagsak yung slump test mo, it means masyadong dry yung timpla mo or kulang pa siya ng water. So, slump test, a harsh mix is efficient for slabs, pavement, or mass concrete where the lowest possible water cement ratio is desirable. So, mas okay sa mga ganitong type of concrete yung mas matapang na timpla. So the following table gives a permissible slump for various types of concrete in relation to their uses. So yung pinaka baba niya, kamukha dito sa unang picture, ito yon, ito yung from the height of the bucket hanggang dun sa pinaka naging bagong height nung concrete nung pagtanggal sa kanya. Yun yung tinatawag na slump. And ito dapat yung maximum and minimum niya for this type of concrete works. So, kunyari, for the enforced foundation, walls, and footings, dapat yung slump mo will be maximum of 5 inches and minimum of 2 inches. So, same goes with the following uh, some test. By the way, this is uploaded naman, yung PDF file, sa kasabay nitong video lecture na to, so you can check the tables. Okay, proportioning of concrete. So, ang concrete is tamang proportion lang sa kanya. So, use good quality materials, the Portland, the cement, the water, and aggregate. We determine the strength of the concrete. So, sa tamang proportioning, nalalaman natin kung uh, tama yung strength niya based sa kailangan niyang load. So, it's using the water-cement ratio. The strength increases as the water-cement ratio decreases. So it also determines the consistency of the mix. So using the slump test, using as dry a mix as practicable. So ito yung tatagating slump test yan. Yung pinakita ko sa inyo kanina. So with the right proportion of concrete, nalalaman mo kung consistent yung mixture mo. Kasi baka ganito nga yung halo mo for the sample, tapos tinabangan mo na bigla dun sa the rest of the kung saan mo bubuhusan. So yung sample lang pala yung pasado, 'di ba? So you always should, if you're a project manager, construction manager, should always check your slump test. And then you add the correct proportions of aggregates so to the cement and water as will give a mix of the desired consistency. Kasi kapag ka hindi maganda yung proportioning nito, there's a tendency na kakapak yung cement more, magkakaroon ng mga cracks or magiging sobrang dry niya. So make a mix that's workable, not harsh. So pag pinoproportion natin yung ating concrete, we have the three types ng paraan yan. Yung first is yung arbitrary proportion. So, it's the oldest and the most commonly used and the most convenient and the least scientific method. So, ang gumagamit lang tayo dito um, ng container which is 1 cubic foot. Doon siya ibubuhos. And this would be used as the measurements for uh, the the ratio nung ating cement, sand, gravel, and yun. So, in this method, the aggregates are measured by loose volume, that is, its volume as it's thrown in the measuring box. So, karaniwan, ang 1 cubic foot or ito is considered as 1 sack of cement, yung kasya sa kanya. So, enough water is used to give the desired consistency. So, ito yung mga typical the proportions of concrete. We called it class. So, class A, class A, B, C, D. Tapos, ito yung ratio niya. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, yung the first one, 1 is to 1.5 is to 3. Ganito natin siya babasahin. Ay, okay, for class A, ibig sabihin, 1 is 1 part of cement. So, ibig sabihin, isang ganitong semento, 2 parts sand, and 4 parts gravel. So, ganyan dapat ang ratio natin. So, yung iba't ibang classes natin of concrete proportions or concrete mixture or ratio would be based sa kung anong type or kung saan mo siya ilalagay. So, example, dito for concrete underwater retaining walls, class A for the suspended slabs, beams and columns, class B for the walls thicker than 4 inches, tapos class C for your concrete plant box, class D for mass concretes. So, each part is equivalent to 1 cubic foot. So, yun nga, kamukha ng sabi ko sa inyo, yung pinakita ko kanina, which yung basihan or yung sukatan natin na box. So, each bag of cement is equivalent to approximately 1 cubic foot. So, the other one is proportioning by water ratio and slump test. So, it's select the amount of water to be added to the cement to give the desired strength. So, tingnan na lang ulit yung table kung ano yung ratio na kailangan niya. So it adds just enough mixed aggregate to the water and cement to give a concrete mix to the desired consistency. So, siguro naman nakapanood na kayo na naghahalo ng semento which is sobrang nakaka-relax. Hindi ko alam ako, pag napapanood ko to, dahil na pag nakatambay ako sa site, parang nakaka-relax lang na panoorin. So nakikita natin na naglalagay tayo pa rin ng water. Ngayon nga hose na ginagamit eh. So for economy for the third one, it's the same pero ito nga naka-focus sa fine coarse aggregate so that the largest quantity of mixed aggregate may be used with a given amount of cement and water to produce a mix of the desired consistency of slump. So comparatively, the coarse aggregate has lesser total surface to be covered with cement paste and therefore is more economical. Kasi nga, mas malalaki yung coarse aggregate compare sa fine aggregates natin. So, mas mura siya kasi mas mura yung coarse aggregates kaysa doon sa cement natin mismo. So, yun nga, again, the concept of concrete is to filling it and avoiding void spaces. So, however, there must be enough fine aggregate present to fill the voids in the coarse aggregate or extra cement paste will be needed for this purpose. So, yun nga, kamukha na sinabi ko ulit kanina, ang fine aggregates is used to fill the part naman na hindi talaga kakayaning pasukin ni coarse aggregate or masyadong maliliit. So, a well-graded aggregate contains all sizes of fine and coarse particles in such proportions that the voids in the combined aggregate will be a minimum. So, sa mixing tayo ng concrete. So, the first one is using the machine mixing. So, obviously, you use a machine to mix the concrete. So, meron tayong tinatawag na batch mixers. So, ito yung karaniwang nakikita natin. Yan, batch mixers. So, into which sufficient materials are placed at one time to make a convenient size batch of concrete, the whole amount being discharged in one mass after it is mixed. So, kaya siya tinawag na batch mixers. Ibig sabihin by batch siya kung magbuhos kasi hindi siya ganun kalaki. So, kanyari, if you're just going to use this um, for the pouring of concrete sa columns or pwedeng every other column lang kasi ibig sabihin hindi kakayanin ng dire-diretso siya. Or kung makikita nyo sa mga karaniwang buhos ng mga slab, they cut it on a certain part, lalo na sa may area ng biga, so that kasi nga batch mixers yung ginagamit. The next type is machine mixing is yung tinatawag natin continuous mixers. So into which the materials are fed constantly and from which the concrete is discharged in a steady stream. So ito naman, malaki-laki na yung container. So pwede na siyang magdire-diretso ng buhos. So and kaya ng covered. Usually, you acquire this doon sa mga batch plants talaga or sa mga nag-concrete mix talaga sila. So, dinadala lang. So, kamukha sa Bataan, example is yung Dilgons, di ba? Kung makikita niyo yung cement mixer nila na truck sa highway. So usually nakikita nyo siya na puno, kapag puno siya, medyo mabagal yung takbo kasi mabigat na. So yun yung mga ginagamit. You would contact them and they will deliver it sa site. Tapos yun, bubuhos na nila doon sa area mo. I think, hindi ko alam kung naabutan ba natin yun nung face to face. Kung medyo observant kayo nung nagbuhos sa ginagawang building sa katabi natin. Nga ba? Or hindi ko alam kung, kasi dalawang construction ginagawa dun sa tabi ng Archie Building. If I don't know kung naabutan nyo sila nung first year kayo, pero nagkaroon time na nagkaroon ng buhos doon, doon na dinala during classes. So habang nagkaklase may nagbubuhos sa tabi na site. So anyways, the second type of concrete mixing is yung tinatawag nating hand mixers. So ito yung pinaka-typical and must be done on water-tight platform. So syempre, pag naghalo ka, ayaw mo na tumapon yung tubig. Kaya kung makikita nyo, ganito yung concept of mixing. Nilalagay yung tubig sa gitna and making sure na meron pa rin siyang parang fortress to hold the water. So cement and fine aggregate shall first be mixed dry until the whole is a uniform color. So ang paghahalo sa kanya is yung mga dry muna natin, si semento, si sand, and then tsaka siya hahaluin kasi halos magkapareha sila si buhangin tsaka si cement ng size. So kailangan silang paghaluin ng maayos. And then tsaka pa lang ilalagay si water and coarse aggregate para mas halong-halo na sila. So next is transporting concrete. So paano ba natin tinatawid si konkreto or inilalagay or nililipat? So for fresh concrete should be transported from the mixer as rapidly as practicable by methods that will permit the placing of concrete in the forms before initially set occurs and without loss or separation of materials. So the delivery of concrete from the mixer to the form should be fairly continuous and uninterrupted. So hindi kasi tayo basta-basta pwedeng magputol sa concrete. Kung mapapansin nyo, pagka nagbuhos ng flooring, kahit sa daan, pagka merong nang natuyo, tapos dinugtungan mo, hindi siya mag-combine kasi makikita mo na minsan magkaiba yung color nila. It indicates na yung buhos mo ay hindi continuous. So, the time of transportation should not exceed at least 30 minutes. So, again, for pouring of concrete, kung minsan magtataka kayo sa mga construction site, inaabot siya ng gabi kasi ngayon, ang ayaw nila is yung maputol siya at hindi maging continuous yung buhos natin. Minsan hanggang madaling araw yan. Depende sa, kaya yung iba dinadamihan yung tao, etc. So the concrete may be transported by means of barrows, buggies, buckets, cableways, hoist, chutes, belts, and pipes. So inililipat natin siya. So the most traditional na nakikita natin, ito, yung mga buckets natin or yung mga balde. Kung minsan, ito mga, dito, balde ng pintura. So, yan yung ginagamit natin panglipat ng halo dun sa area. Kahit naka-batch mixer ka, kailangan mo pa rin siya. Yung iba, they use this wheelbarrow. Meron, pagka vertical, yung construction, you use hoist or yung pulleys natin, nakalagay siya sa ibabaw, tapos hahatakin na lang, ilalagay si pail. And then, ito rin, kaya siya nilalagay din sa timbak para mas kapag mano-mano yung buhos nyo, madali siyang ihagis doon sa kabila. But, na-try namin yan before, nakigulo kami sa site, nagbubuhos sila. Nung sabi namin, kuya, pakibato nga, try kong saluhin. Ang bigat pala nun, pero this workers made it look easy para ma-transport sa kanila. Kaya hands down sa mga nasa construction site, yung mga labor force natin kasi sobrang hirap ng trabaho nila pero pinagmumukha lang nilang madali din talaga. So yun, and make sure na kapag buhos, nandoon na din, lalo na pag slab, Kapag magbubuhos ka is kailangan na nakaabang na si electrical and si plumbing kasi ang pangit naman na slab babasagin mo to place the utilities. And also, lalo na kung walang ceiling yung slab natin. And then, yun nga, yung make sure na binabantayan niyo siya. Ako sa sobrang pagbabantay ko yun, meron isang project nung nag-apprentice ako, I think yung dialysis center sa Palengke. Pag-akyat ko ng third floor, di nila kasi sinabi sa akin na fresh buhos siya. So, para akong asong naglakad sa bagong buhos sa semento. Nandun yung pa ako. So, buti kabubuhos pa lang ka na remedyohan nila. Mahirap yung patuyo na. Tapos, may footmark ko na yung slab. Okay, curing of concrete. Ano ba yung tinatawag natin curing? So this is concrete must be allowed to cure or harden after it is placed. Yung pagpapatigas ng konkreto natin. So it is a slow process in the cement and water unite to form compounds that give strength and durability of concrete. Hindi siya basta-basta madaling gawin. Kaya kung makikita nyo, pagyari ng buhos, andun pa yung mga forma or even the concrete. So after affecting the curing as yung age or time, kung gaano kabilis or katagal yung pagpapatuyo sa kanya, yung temperature sa lugar, and yung moisture content nung buhos mo. So the fresh concrete for about 7 days after placing should be protected from excessive vibration, loads, extreme heat or cold, too rapid drying, and contact with impurities. So syempre pag buhos natin, hindi natin siya basta-basta. Kaya nga sabi kanina, concrete is has a slow process of hardening. So for the first week is crucial. Kaya dapat kaya minsan bagong buhos, tas kunyari natsyempohan, lumindol, medyo kabahan ka na doon kasi ibig sabihin, ah, hindi pa ganun ka-solid yung konkreto mo. Tas naka-experience agad ng earthquake. So, there's a probably apektado na yung strength niya. Yun yung iniiwasan, vibration, or madaganan siya, or magkaroon agad ng magamit siya agad. Kaya minsan, napagtaka yung mga roads, hindi pa naman siya dapat cured yung sa mga highways natin pero nadadaanan na agad ng trucks ng mga vehicles. So napapansin nyo, hindi by the end of the uh, the 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 part na ginagawa sira na yung dulo kasi nga hindi pa siya na well cured. Hindi pa siya natuyo talaga. So, the strength of concrete increases with age when the curing conditions remain favorable. So, ang konkreto habang tumatagal, mas tumitibay. So, covering the concrete, in concrete curing, meron tayong mga iba pang dagdag dyan. We can cover the concrete floors. Ito yung mga tinatawag na curing blankets. So, floors shall be covered with paper sacking wetted down at the edges or with burlap sand or earth that is kept moist after the concrete is hard enough to walk on. So, it's additional protection for the site, lalo na kung open yung slab mo. Yung iba, lona lang, pwede na rin yun. So, removal of forms at prescribed time shall not be removed until after the time specified. So, ito, ganito karami yung karaniwang tukod sa konkreto sa forma natin pagkaya rin niyang ibuhos. At kung makikita nyo, pagka kung, may mga napuntahan na kayong site, pagtagal-tagal, medyo nababawasan yung ano natin, mga forma. Pero hindi mo pwede siyang biglaing tanggal kasi dyan, wala pa silang ano hindi pa sila ganong katigas para mag-meet yung strength nila. So, kailangan magkaroon ng period of time pa. So, unti-unti mo siya dapat bawasin at tanggalin. So, sprinkling with water. So, beams, columns, and walls are sprinkled or sprayed with water as soon as the forms are removed. Makikita niyo, dinidilagan yung konkreto. So, it's a process of curing. Kasi sa concrete, hindi rin pwedeng sobrang dry. So, kailangan meron pa rin tayong moisture. Kaya nilalagyan natin or dinidiligan pa rin natin siya. And then yung using curing compounds kamukha ng mga admixtures natin. So, ito yung mga desired time or required period ng iba't ibang structural parts. So, you can see for footings, for massive footings and in a day, within 24 hours, uh, natutuyo na siya hanggang 5 days for slab and cantilever footings. For walls and plasterings, meron din siyang specification. It can be from 1 day, 2 days. Columns, same din. Yung slab and beams and girders, maabot hanggang 28 days. For arcs, around 21 days hanggang sa yun, yung iba't ibang parts. So, from 1 day to almost a month. Depende sa part nung structure ang curing natin sa slab. So, ibig sabihin nun, hindi mo basta-basta dapat galawin siya at uh, tanggalin yung formworks niya. So, yung nabanggit ko kanina, yung admixtures, ano ba yon? So, admixtures are, these are substances added to cement, mortar, and concrete for the purpose of improving or imparting particular properties. So, meron tayong iba't ibang types. You have accelerators, retarders, waterproofing, and air entraining. So, accelerators, this is used from its word accelerate to speed up setting time. So, pagka naglagay ka nito, mas mapapabilis yung curing time. Ito yung sinasabi kanina. Mapapabilis yung curing time nung concrete. Retarders naman is kabaliktaran. It's to slow down the hydration of the cement during very hot weather. So, kasi pag na-expose siya sa init, pag tagal-tagal, mabilis na mawawala yung moisture natin or yung water, which is pangit pa rin sa concrete kapag nawala ano tawag na-hydrate yung concrete. So kailangan natin ng retarder, so ibig sabihin pampabagal siya. Waterproofing, permeability reducing compound. So this is from its word what to waterproof the actual cement. So but while it may decrease water absorption of the concrete or mortar, it does not render concrete waterproofing. Um, Parang binabawasan niya lang yung pag-absorb ng tubig ah, sa concrete. So pero kailangan mo pa rin siyang maglagay ng waterproofing or additional covering to waterproof your structure. So yung isa is yung air entraining agent, so introduce the minute air bubbles to greatly increase the resistance of concrete to freezing and thawing, increasing plasticity and reduce bleeding. So ano bing bleeding concrete? Yung makikita mo parang merong parang nagmo-moist siya if, kahit natanggal na si formworks and tapos na yung curing time niya. So, ibig sabihin nun merong nagkaroon siya ng parang bubbles-bubbles sa loob. Nagkaroon siya ng butas pa si concrete or void spaces na maliliit. So, ang use ito is to lessen that. So, forms or formworks natin. So, there are three types of formworks. Yung pinakagamitin natin is yung wood forms. Yan. It use of lumber and plywood. And then yung steel forms, so karaniwan for metal decking, yung iba, they do not remove the steel forms pagkayaring magbuhos. So added na siya, protection or for the structure. And then meron din na tayong tinatawag na plastic forms. Okay, so that's the end of concrete works. So I have uploaded an activity for you. So to be passed next week. So parang assignment lang siya ulit. Kasi medyo mahihirapan tayo for, ang tawag dito, for quizzes. Kasi I think hindi naman lahat has 100% or very stable internet connection. Minsan yung iba, mismong lugar walang signal. So para mas madali, let's just base this on your active grades will be based on activity and let's see kung paano pa tayo maglalagay ng grading system for this. So I would like to remind everyone that the midterm will be from November 4 to 7. I think naglabas na rin sa Facebook yung BPSU ng schedule natin. Hanggang January tayo for this semester. Dati by end of December eh. Pero medyo extended after Christmas break. Parang 1 week, tas finals na. So, ayun, see you next meeting. We still have metal and woodworks before the midterm. So, parang dalawang lectures pa. And then, let's try to figure out how would we conduct the midterm exam. So, if you have questions, you can contact me or message me sa messenger. And you can you can you can set up a synchronous meeting sa akin, synchronous or a Zoom or Discord or Google Meet, para mas ma-explain ko yung mga questions nyo with regards to our lecture. Okay, so thank you for watching.